Well, less than 24 hours ago, we learned of another elderly woman who died in connection to last weekend's winter storm. Her name was Neither Kelly, and she marked the third death in our state. Now, the victims ranged in age from 83 to 96 and all died from hypothermia. So this morning, we are on your side with an important reminder from experts about checking on elderly loved ones and neighbors during these brutally cold conditions. And joining us now, a very familiar face, Dr. Macy P. Smith, who has more than 2 decades of experience working with aging and vulnerable populations. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, after we learned about that death, I immediately slid in your DMs and I said, this is something that we need to talk about because it's absolutely heartbreaking seeing that those 3 women passed away this past weekend in these brutally cold temperatures. So as we prepare for this weekend, what is something that we want to remind the community about when it comes to protecting our aging loved ones?
Well, I will say to family members, whether you're in a caregiving role or not, if you are concerned about an older loved one's cognitive ability, their memory, or just their lack of judgment, they should not be alone. Well, we know our seniors, they want to stay in their homes, so they may be resistant to come to you. Someone needs to go to them because we never know when someone is going to wander away, especially if they have dementia or cognitive impairment. We know that our seniors don't always eat well, they don't always hydrate themselves, they become dehydrated, and that is dangerous in extremely cold weathers because it causes issues with their body temperature. It'll be very, very hard for them to regulate their body temperature, and when they're not hydrated or well nutritioned, then their body temperature drops rapidly.
Yeah, and that is so important to note those things. Now, one of the other questions that I have for you is, so I have my grandma. I love her something serious, okay? But my grandma also can be a little stubborn because she's like, I'm a strong Polish woman. I got it. I don't need help. How do you have a conversation with your older loved ones or neighbors saying, no, I'm going to be there to help you while we weather this storm together?
Yeah, she's not stubborn. She's strong-willed.
Come on, strong-willed.
As she said, she is a strong woman. She got this. Negotiation. This is when your negotiation skills come into play. You want to barter with them.
Yeah.
Give me this and I'll get you this, right? So you got to know them and know what are carrots for them because they think they have it. And so you don't want to wait until something happens because it could be catastrophic. And those deaths were horrifying and devastating. And so if you have to negotiate with them on something that you weren't ready to do, you want to put that in place because you don't want to be on the other end of things. And for those who don't live with their loved ones, cameras. I am a fan of indoor cameras. You don't have to tell them, all the time, everything that you're doing to protect them because they could feel like you're restricting them. But indoor cameras, I call that the third caregiver when you can't be there. Alarms, ADT, Simply Safe, whatever alarm you can get in place. And the personal emergency response systems, the PERS, you want to invest in that. And Project Lifesaver with the Orangeburg Sheriff's Department, that's usually free or very, very low cost. So if your loved one does go missing, you can actually call the Sheriff's Department and they can be on it immediately.
These are great resources to make sure that your loved ones are safe. Okay, let's talk about our seasoned, I like to call them seasoned, seasoned neighbors. Maybe they're not family, but they're just somebody who lives around you. As a community, how can we be on the lookout for our folks who live around us, who are in our community?
Yeah, and you want to know your neighbors, right? And I think everyone knows that they have an elderly neighbor. Want to make sure that the lights are coming on when they should be on. You want to be sure that you go and knock on the door and see if they're okay. And if you have, I would say, younger children, they love the babies, bring them over. They may be more apt to let you in. And you want to, when you go in, you want to do like a environmental surveillance just to kind of be sure that it is warm in there, make sure they're well clothed. Then you can actually see if they're stumbling over anything. So you'll be able to determine if they need additional support or not. And then ask for a glass of water so that way you can take a peep in the refrigerator. And if they need food, because a lot of times they don't cook, they're retired.
Yeah.
They ain't got to do all of that.
I've been cooking all my life.
Right, exactly. But they don't realize what that does to their body. And so if you notice that they need something, don't ask them if they need something because they're going to say, no, baby, I'm good. Bring it to them. We have to be good neighbors, good stewards, and really look out for one another, especially our seniors in this time. Again, Don't wait for something to happen. I want you to be proactive. You know, we're from the South. When we know better, we do better. And now everybody under the sound of my voice knows better.
So it's time to do
better.
better. And it makes such a difference. I mean, something as simple as just, hey, how you doing today can
Right.
make the world of a difference.
World.
Yes. All right. So let's talk about some resources that are available for folks who have seasoned individuals in their life, just when it comes to navigating things like winter weather or just even everyday life, because I understand that it can be a lot caring for, you know, an older individual, especially if they're struggling with dementia.
Yeah, and I'll tell you too, people are in caregiving roles and they don't identify as the caregiver. If they're not on their paperwork, then that means they're not responsible. But if you are going over and checking on the person, providing supervision, providing them food, anything that they need, you are in a caregiving role. Get together with the family, develop a plan of care, and develop a plan of action. Again, you want to not go in and try to parent them. They don't need a parent, they need a partner. So they need to see that you're there to help them with whatever they need. You got to lift them up and allow them to make the decisions based on what you're presenting to them. So it's very important to build community within your family, but also your logical family. Reach out to the Department on Aging, Area Agency on Aging, and ask for resources that are available. Again, Project Lifesaver with the local sheriff's department. There's also a program called Smart 911, and that's connected to the first responders. And you can actually go online and put in specific information about your loved one, whether or not they may be an amputee, they're a senior, they have dementia, they have mental illness. So that way, whenever there is a call, they have very, very pertinent information to allow them to act fast.
Absolutely. Now, you see these nuggets of knowledge that she just dropped. You can get more of that at the Community Dementia Care Conversations. We got about 15, 20 seconds. Tell us about this free event.
Next Thursday, February 5th, the Orangeburg Senior Helping Center, PACE in Orangeburg, is partnering with the Sheriff's Department. I'll be there providing tools, tips, tricks, and strategies for dementia caregivers to be able to navigate their journey efficiently and effectively. We'll have resources in the room, folks offering free respite, also early detection when it comes to cognitive impairment or Alzheimer's disease. So we got you covered. We want all the family caregivers to come out next Thursday, February 5th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Orangeburg County Library.
We absolutely love that, my friends, and you do not have to navigate this alone. Make sure to check out this event. We're going to